Hey guys, we're finishing up James 3 today on Bedhead. Today's hat is Promise Keepers. So thank you, Promise Keepers, for your unofficial sponsorship. This is from a conference that appears in 1990. I don't believe Promise Keepers is still around today, at least not under that name, but it's kind of a men's version of Women of Faith, and I think it was in Indianapolis at that particular trip. So thank you guys for coming back, investing in our lives so we can continue to invest in through the Word. So, with that, James chapter 3, starting out in verse 13, new topic. We're going to cover the whole thing today. You ready? It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in his meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be a disorder in every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." Okay, let's cover this a little bit. This is really kind of a litmus test. When you look at others that claim Christ, to see how they interact with others and how they choose and their motives on how they live. It says basically, if you want to see somebody as wise and understanding among them, watch their lives. You know, I've heard people talk about, like, if you really want to hear or see what's important in somebody's life, look at their checkbook. See where they spend their money. Are they being faithful to God? Are they taking in buying a bunch of toys? Are they putting in the retirement? Like, how they spend their money. Not what they say is important to them, but how they spend their money will reveal what's important to them. This is kind of a similar concept, but James is just basically saying, if someone says that they are someone to follow and that they think that they have some wisdom to impart, and they have understanding about God, where they can be a spiritual leader, a mentor, or a pastor, or a teacher in your life, then look at their life. Are they, in general, working with others in peace? Are they loving? Are they living the truth? Are they doing the real deal? Or are they posturing themselves for their own gain? Recently, a national pastor, fell because of pride, arrogance, cruelty to other people, the way he handled staff, the way he handled finances, the amount of debt that he put the church into, the way that he treated campus churches. It was a huge mess. And when you look at some of the videos of some of the people that are speaking out now that he's gone, some are people just in the church that kind of see things from a stage perspective. Some who might have worked there before, they're kind of learning about talking about lessons that they learned, both good and bad, under this particular pastor or whatever. They have a lot of things to say. And there was one person that was someone that went to the church there, and really wasn't on the leadership level of things, but she saw a lot of what's going on behind the scenes, so those type of things. But she was just so angry and hurt because this pastor would stand on the stage and say, "We will not use this church for our celebrity. We don't use this church for our own personal gain. That this is all about the kingdom and the kingdom work. That we live within our means. We're doing books and DVDs, those type of things. We're not taking those things as our own personal income. Those things are going back to church or other ministries, but we're living within our means. Everything we're teaching you, we're living." And that just wasn't simply the case. And as things came out more and more, and they found bad practices and immoral way of living, she was really hurt and betrayed by that. There's always one thing to hear somebody talk about what matters to them, and there's another when you look at their actions. And here James is taking and saying, hold them and look and evaluate and prayerfully concerned whether or not this person is the real deal. Is there jealousy? Is there selfish ambition? Where those things exist, there will be disorder in every vile practice. But if the wisdom and the way that they're living and the way that you're moving is pure and it matches up to the Word of God, if it's peaceable, where it's not trying to tear people down, but is bringing the truth wrapped with love as well as love wrapped with truth, it's gentle, it's open to reason, it's open to communication. If there's full of mercy, if there's good fruits, it's sincere, it's impartial, that it's not playing these games that he already warned us about as far as showing partiality to people, then you've got something that is bringing peace. Then you've got something that's of God. Doesn't mean you always agree, doesn't always mean that, we don't address sin, but if you generally see peace and love and sacrifice and godliness, then you got something to lean into as a community, within your witness, and within your relationships. So, once again, go past a couple minutes past this video and look at the wisdom that's in your life, how you're thinking, how other people are advising you, and how you're making decisions, what kind of church you're in, what kind of pastor you have, what teachers do you have, what mentors do you have. Is it matching up to verse 17? I'm not saying everybody's perfect. Everybody's going to be flawed. You're going to find little things that maybe need talked about or need some grace. But is it pure? Is it peaceable? Is it gentle? Is it open to reason? Is it full of mercy? Is it good fruits, impartial, and sincere? Those are the things to lean into. This litmus test was being used at the church, unfortunately, with the pastor who just refused. And God was trying to reach out to him in gentle ways to change his ways. We would have seen this much earlier. Would have been able to have change much earlier. Would have had less people hurt much earlier. The same is true in your life. Even in the smallest of ways, Satan will use it to get bondage, influence, and hurt. And God doesn't want that for your life. So use these guidelines that James brings into your life and see what he has for you. So some things to think about as we continue to move in. And with our next day, we'll be going in chapter 4 and see what he has for us there. Thanks, guys. Be blessed.